What is our vocab skill this week, you ask? Well, it is context. Our objectives are that we are learning to use a context as a clue to the meaning of a word or phrase. Good readers use context. When good readers come to an unknown word or phrase, or a word they know has multiple meanings, they can look at the context for clues that lead them to the meaning of the word or phrase. I keep using the word context, and that is a word to know. You might be wondering what context even really is. Well, context is the words and sentences around an unknown word or phrase that give readers clues to the words/phrases' meaning. So when you're reading and you come to a word you don't know, look at the words and sentences around it for help or for clues. Those words and sentences all around is your context. Ideas. Ideas will help you remember the different types of context. I is the first letter in ideas, and this stands for inference. An inference is a type of context that you can use to help you understand an unknown word's meaning. An inference is just when you use general situations or events that relate to your prior knowledge, your schema that you already have in your brain. Let's try an example. Make sure that you have ample time to read a book. When I first read this sentence, I don't know what the word ample means. But I can understand the situation. Right now, this sentence is telling you to have ample time to read a book. Well, I know in my prior knowledge or my schema that reading a book takes a lot of time. So ample must mean either a lot of or enough. Let's see if that makes sense. Make sure that you have a lot of or enough time to read a book. That makes perfect sense. Let's take a look at D in ideas. That stands for definition, another context clue type. Sometimes the meaning is explained in the text. Keep an eye out for some of these signal words that might tell you a definition is right there. These signal words include is, are, is called, means, or. Let's try an example. A wealthy or rich man donated books to schools all over the country. At first, I don't know what wealthy means. But then I see the signal word or inside of a comma hug. That must mean a definition's right there. Rich must mean the same as wealthy. That makes so much more sense. A wealthy man who is rich and has a lot of money can donate books all over. E in ideas. This stands for example. Maybe this context type is included in a text and you see several examples in a list. Some signal words to look out for are such as, for instance, or including. Here's an example. There are many different types of literature, such as poetry, drama, realistic fiction, informational, biography, and myths, just to name a few. When I first read this sentence, I don't really know what literature means. But then, looking at that list of examples, they're all types of books or types of text. So literature must mean text to be read. That makes a lot of sense. Good thing those examples were listed to help me understand what literature means. Context clues for the win. What does the A in ideas stand for? The next context clue type is antonyms, which are just words with opposite meanings. Some signal words to look out for are but, however, unlike, or although. Let's take a look at an example. The library book was so good that when Anna finished it, she felt exhilarated. But she also felt sad that the story was over. Guys, do you see the signal word but, which tells me an antonym is in this sentence? Originally, she felt exhilarated, but she also felt sad. Sad must be an antonym for exhilarated. So this tells me exhilarated must mean very happy or animated and excited. Good thing that antonym was in there to help me out. Let's take a look at the last type of context clue. That is S for synonyms, words with similar meanings or the same meanings. Here's some signal words to help us out. Also, as, like, same, similarly, to. Let's look at an example. The books that we read in class are captivating. Similarly to television, the books entertain me. There's a synonym in here. So the books are described as captivating, just like the television is described as entertaining. So captivating must mean entertaining and holds my attention. Thank goodness for that synonym of entertain to help me understand what captivating means. Let's practice using ideas, the different context clue types, to help me understand unknown words. I'm going to read this passage here, and when I come across an unknown word, I'm going to use one of my context clue types to help me understand it. The passage is called The Wonderful World of Books. When my mom was my age, she loved the library. She and her mom, my grandma, went to the library every 2 weeks. She felt so energetic about going. She danced down the sidewalk as they walked. I'm coming across energetic here. Not quite sure what it means, but let me use one of my context clue types to help me. I'm going to use example. In the text, the example is that she danced down the sidewalk as they walked. That tells me that energetic must mean showing a lot of great energy and activity, because that's what dancing is. Let's keep reading. Her mom was thoughtful enough not to tell her to calm down and walk like a lady. I just came across the word thoughtful, and I want to understand it better. Let's use one of our context clue types to help us. Specifically, we'll use inference. Let's make an inference here, our prior schema, using our prior schema to understand thoughtful. The example here is that her mom was thoughtful enough not to tell her to calm down like a lady. Or calm down and walk like a lady. Well, if somebody were to tell me, calm down and walk like a lady, I would think that they didn't really care about my feelings and that they didn't want me to be me. But her mom was thoughtful enough not to do that. So thoughtful must mean showing consideration for others' needs and allowing her to do whatever she wanted. Let's keep reading. All Mom's memories of her neighborhood library are happy. None are negative. She remembers how grateful she felt when the kind librarians helped her. I wonder what negative means. Let's use one of our context clue types, and I'm going to focus on antonyms. Maybe there's an antonym there to help me understand what negative means. An antonym just means opposites. All Mom's memories of her neighborhood library are happy. None are negative. An antonym there is happy. So that must tell me that negative means you have an attitude or feeling that's not pleasant, nor optimistic. Not happy, because it is an opposite meaning of happy. Let's keep reading. She remembers how grateful she felt when the kind librarians helped her. If my mom had a question, they would stop to answer it, even if they were busy. They were very generous with their time and advice. I wonder what generous means. I'm going to use a context clue type to help me. I'm actually going to use two. I'm going to take a look at an example and a synonym. We see here that an example is the kind librarians helping her and answering her questions even though they're busy. And a synonym here is that the librarians are described as kind. So this example and synonym tells me that generous means giving and helpful. Let's keep reading the last paragraph. When my mom finished a fiction book she loved, she felt sad. I felt homesick for the characters in the world, Mom explained. She missed those fictional people as much as most people miss a close relative or friend who moved to a faraway place. I'm wondering what homesick means. I'm going to use two context clue types to help me understand what homesick means. I'm going to use definition and example. Let's take a look here. An example is that her mom felt sad whenever she finished a book. And the definition is when her mom is explaining that she's missing those fictional people as much as people miss a close relative or friend who moved away. So homesick must mean missing your home when you are away from it. Now it's your turn. On Google Classroom, you see this worksheet here. The directions state to use context clues within the sentences, to determine the vocabulary word that best replaces the underlined word or words. You can use a word box to help you as well, and make sure to use ideas. Did an inference help you? Did a definition help you? Maybe it was an example that helped you, or maybe it was an antonym, a word with an opposite meaning, or a synonym, a word with a similar meaning, to help you understand the meaning of these underlined words. Go ahead and show what you know.